Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hope you can see us and hear us. We're trying out a new system today. And if all works well, you won't even realize that we have a new system. So who's here? So Andy's here. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Donna. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Patsy. Hi, Laura. Hi, Anita. Hi, Marlene. One day out of the deep freeze. Marlene says Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie.
Yeah, today I think it's 1 today.
Oh, it's my watch says it's 2.
It's above 0. So, and earlier this week it was -10 though.
Anita just got dinner made just in time. That's good, Anita. What are you having for dinner? We're trying to decide what we're having. We're having a debate. Nothing sounds good. Hi, Angel. Hi, Kathy. And oh, Fidel made it. Yay, Fidel.
Yeah,
Fidel's here. Everybody's coming in. Okay. And Margaret is here. Hello, Margaret. And she can hear us. That is a good thing, Margaret. We'll talk about my new little toy for this in a moment. Hi, Yvonne.
For those that are interested, Steve switched out the creepy little girl on that side.
Oh, yeah, the Fidel, the creepy little girl's not over there anymore.
I think it was Patsy that was.
Oh, was it Patsy didn't like that? Yeah. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Yeah. Too many comments about the creepy girl, so I put Rodin's Thinker and Shakespeare's in the middle. He doesn't rotate. And what's the other one I've got up there? Oh, it's a bust of somebody. I don't know who it is. They're all 3D things too, but they spin around. They're more classy, I guess, than the spooky doll from Squid Games.
Chicken with creamy mustard sauce and dressing and vegetables.
Creamy mustard sauce. That sounds interesting. Sauce and dressing and vegetables. Oh, dressing. Oh, stuffing. Okay. That sounds good. Yeah, we don't know what we're having. Hi, Janice. We go through this debate all the time. You see, in the pre-COVID days, when nothing sounded exciting in the house, we'd go out and have dinner. Of course, then we get to dinner and you look at the menu and go, I don't know what I want. Still, now we just do that at home and it's cheaper. I look at him and go, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. Patsy says she was just surprised to see her still turning. You want to know something, Patsy? Those things that she was sitting on and which these guys are sitting on, I bought from a place here in Canada called Lee Valley online. They were like $10 a piece. They're solar powered, but they'll run off. It doesn't have to be sunlight, just any kind of light. And there is a backup battery in them. And I've had those now running since October. And they have never stopped. So worth the money, really, out of them. Might be nice to add an on-off switch, but, because they're perpetually turning.
Yeah, so they must still be turning at night, too.
Yeah, they are.
So, yeah,
I mean, it builds it up. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Marilyn. And, so I guess we've got lots of people in here now, so I guess we'll get started. Okay, first one's easy. What's Walter working on? My shirt. Still.
I did on Craft and Chat get the plackets done on the shirt, and I've been meaning to put set sleeves in, and I was sort of looking at it today, but I didn't do it. Once I get past putting the sleeves in, I'm okay.
Angel says
I just have not been motivated at all.
Well, get the lead out. I did all kinds of sewing this morning, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, not you.
Well, good thing. Angel says, at this point, I don't care what I eat. I just want to be able to smell and taste it. Yeah, Angel, that's right. Angel had a little bout with COVID, unfortunately. We knew about it from Craft and Chat the other day because she was telling us about it. Didn't sound good. Anita says,
I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Well, I know you said you were feeling fine, but other than you can't
smell or taste. Yeah. Well, there are advantages to that, as we discussed on Craft and Chat too.
I mean, it's a good diet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you can't smell or taste it, then you can eat any kind of crap. But Cherries. Anita says it's a new recipe for me. Sauce has white wine or can use chicken broth, garlic, Dijon mustard, and heavy cream. Sounds interesting. Yeah. Well, you could use chicken broth, but if you've got white wine, why bother with chicken broth? Fidel says, "How's the weather in Oshawa? 24 degrees here, sunny and so boring."
My watch says 1 degree Celsius, so that's just above freezing. Americans would say that's around 32.
How come? Oh no, mine just went to 1. It did say 2. It just changed to 1. So I don't
Just
know.
over 32 for the Americans.
Yeah, so it's balmy here. Yeah. So anyway,
Actually, it probably feels like before when it was minus 10 and 11 the other day.
Oh yeah, it was
So
cold.
it probably feels warm now.
Yeah. Of course, Dana will probably tell us it's something like minus 100.
Well, I think there's a cold front
Regina.
moving our way, so.
Andy says her son, daughter-in-law, and their 3 kids have COVID.
Uh-oh.
So
I hope they're doing okay.
Yeah, how are they doing with that? Hi, Judy. Yeah, I know I emailed my sister earlier today asking her how everybody was at her place, and she said that a guy her husband works with, he came into contact with somebody that tested positive. So I guess my brother-in-law, he tested himself, but he was okay. The other guy he's tested himself and he was negative as well, but he's staying in quarantine. So yeah. Anita says several of the pizza places here in town have had to close. Help is sick. One place today posted on Facebook they only had 2 people and were 65 orders behind. Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, they're talking now about that kind of situation happening here too. Cheryl says, "I'd love to be somewhere sunny and warm and boring. Winter in Michigan is boring too." Patsy says they're at 68. Fidel says, "I'm a cold-blooded creature. I love snow." Oh, geez, Fidel.
Well, you should move north.
Yeah. Well, he did live north at one time.
Well, actually, we don't have any snow right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in Canada, no snow.
Yeah, no snow. Well, in this part
Yeah.
where we live.
Where we live.
I mean, you can go 20 miles north of us. They've got
I have
snow.
a feeling that where Dana lives, that she's got snow.
Yeah, I'm sure Dana's got snow. Angel says, "My sewing cabinet came and I can't get out of my damn room to put it together." Oh, yeah, Angel, that's right. You bought that really nice kangaroo cabinetry. Hi, Teresa. They had heavy rain where Anita lives. Wendy's here. Hi, Wendy. And Andy says, "They're hanging in there. Fortunately, the adults were double vaxxed, so my son got the booster." Okay, that's a good thing. Dana says, minus 23C feels like minus 31. Oh, it's warmed up. Judy has snow. Okay. Yeah, well, it's winter, people. At least in the northern hemisphere. So, Fidel, come to Chicago, Andy says. Enough snow to make you happy. And Teresa used to ski in her younger days and couldn't wait for snow each year. Yeah, hi, Jennifer. I liked snow when I was a kid too, but now I can take it or leave it.
I liked snow till I bought my first house, and then I decided I didn't like it when I had to shovel the driveway.
Yeah, I know, that's the problem. Don't want to shovel this shit. But well, that reminds me, I haven't turned on my car in a while.
Yeah, well, I gotta check the tires.
I probably should turn on my car to see if it will turn on.
How do you do that?
With a key. Yeah, right. That car's for emergency use only now. You're driving Miss Daisy, so get used to it. So that's all you've worked on. Nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
But look, I did the wash today.
Well, you did your wash.
I did my wash.
Yeah. That's not our wash. That's your wash. Yeah. What? Did you have to use a crowbar to pull your undies off the wall? Probably. Jeez.
What undies?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Really. Anita says her son was double vaxxed too and got COVID. He said the fatigue was awful. Hi, Brenda. And I'm just looking, trying to catch up here. Patsy says I have about decided that it's not if I get COVID, but when. Actually, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, they're saying here too that eventually everybody will get it. So
Yeah, so I don't know. We're triple vaxxed, but yeah. I don't know. Yeah, well, I guess we just have to take it as it comes.
well, I know
anymore.
that they're saying that in our country, anyway, in Ontario, that 90% of the people that are in the ICU are unvaxxed. So.
Yeah, unvaxxed people. Yeah, well, we're going to talk a little bit more about stupid things stupid people do because we had a bunch of stupid Canadians, which we are not proud to say they are Canadian. But
I'm sure
anyways,
it's been on the news.
yeah, I'm sure everybody's heard it. But before that, I'm going to talk about what I'm working on since you're
Yeah,
doing
hopefully
nothing.
I'll have shirts finished next week.
Okay, so I have progress report on what they call the little town quilt, which right now I have them all. I'm just going to turn the camera for a second around here so you can see hanging from my fabric shelf there all of the blocks so far. I got my houses done today. There are 10 houses. Now I have to make 8 more of those trees with a star on, if you can see it in the back over there. So it's coming along with that. I was getting a little tired of making the stupid little houses because there's a bunch of little pieces in them and it gets a little tedious. But anyways, it's getting there. And I made some, show you these things that I made on my 3D printer. I just have to switch the screen over if I can find my cursor and things. So here you go. Here's what you do, how to recycle the reels that your filament on your 3D printer come from. Those black parts you see on there, those are the empty reels, or an empty reel, that filament comes on. And they are recyclable to a point. It depends on which company you get them from. Some have the recycling sign on them, some don't. But I have seen that some people make these drawer sets out of them. And so I decided, well, I would try this. And usually they just make the one layer, the one at the bottom where you see the orange and the green. Those pull out. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I have a picture of that. So those pull out and they're hinged and they fit right in there very neatly and you can keep little things in them. And then I made the top part with that and I have it next to my sewing machine. It has all the things I reach for most readily on the sewing machine. And then I made another one with a slightly different style to it. I don't have a picture of it, but it sits over with my 3D printers and it holds the tools I'm usually using with my 3D printers. So, and then I made these, or no, oh yeah, I did have a picture of it. I forgot. Yeah, here's the one. I've got a couple over here. Little slightly different design because these little drawers here are a little lower, so you get sort of this tiered effect. That was a mistake. And I was playing around trying to make them the right size. That's how those came out. And then I had some other ones left over, so I just made this. So they have these markers, and these are all tools I use in my 3D with my 3D printers that I need close by, so it sits over there. And then I made these. Aren't these fun? They're Angry Bird egg cups. And now I'm making an Angry Bird. I'm using the same one, but I'm blowing it up a little bigger. It's printing as we speak. And I'm going to make, well, guess what I'm going to make out of it?
Pincushion?
Oh, good guess. Got that right off the bat. No, how did you know that? Yeah, I have too many pin cushions. But you know my fascination with making pin cushions. I'm also trying to make a owl flower pot. I've done the owl as a pin cushion before, but I've blown it up. Actually, I didn't have to blow it up because it actually was designed as a flower pot when I first got the design, and then I made it into a pin cushion. But now I need another flower pot because my philodendrons upstairs that I've been rooting since COVID started have another set that are ready to hit a pot. So I thought that would be kind of fun to put it in. And I ran out of filament on it. That's why it's printing in 2 colors. Actually, I was able to pause it before it ran out, and I think that'll work. So that's something that I've not really tried too much before. But I thought these little guys were really cute. Something just a little different. And, okay, let me out of here. Back. And then I bought myself another little toy, and that's what I'm using right now. And it's called an Elgato Stream Deck. And it's a little box. I don't know if I can... Right here. And it's plugged into the computer. And it's a series of little buttons that you can program to do all kinds of different things with it. And it's really made for making videos, that kind of thing. And yeah, we're still on there. And so I've got it all programmed so I can play around and switch it to do all kinds of different things. Like if I want to switch over to a different camera right now, maybe not. Okay, that didn't work. Maybe hit the wrong button. Oh no, that's the button we're on right now. Okay, I could do this. You can see my sewing machine and my cutting mat from above. When we can go to picture in picture. Well, that's for the screen, so that's why you're seeing. There's what we see, people, on the YouTube thing, and you can see there's a time delay, and then we'll go back to that. So it's kind of fun. And it can do a lot of other things too if you set it up. So I'm still playing with it. But I do kind of like it. I debate it whether I should buy one, but I noticed that a lot of people who do YouTube videos and do lives, of course, a lot of them have Macs. And they're all switching between one device to another device as well. So, what do people say? Love that organizer. Am I going to, Andy says, are you going to make one for Walter? He doesn't want one.
Actually, I don't want one because I don't have any room on my tables to put it. I've got enough stuff on my table.
Well, he would have room if he...
I wouldn't have, I don't have room. I have too much stuff on my tables. I mean, and plus I have to accommodate other stuff, so I just don't have room to put it on. Even if I cleaned up, there's no room.
Little violin. The world's tiniest violin.
My sewing room isn't as big as yours, so
that's life. Too bad. Well, it's not like you're doing anything anyway.
I know.
Was it? Laura says, "Is that a pattern? Where'd you get it from?"
Pattern for what?
For what? You mean for the? Laura, are you talking about the what's called the Little Town? Because yes, it is a pattern. It is called Little Town. It's by what's her name? I was going to say it's is it Sherry Stratton? No, her name's not Sherry. Cheryl. Cheryl Stratton? No, Sherry McConnell's her mother, and her name is shoot, I gotta get the pattern and tell you.
Yeah, Patsy, we also, our Amazon people throw the packages on our doorstep too.
Oh yeah, all the time. They run away. Run away, run away. I'm trying to find this pattern here. Actually, I showed this last week.
No, Laura was saying it, she meant the 3D print stand.
Oh, Chelsea Stratton. That's the name of the one. Oh, the 3D print stand? Well, it's not a pattern per se. They call them models. And you go to Thingiverse, which is a website where people put up things that they have created, and you can download them for free and put them onto your printer, and away you go, printing them out.
It wasn't Laura, isn't her husband have a 3D printer? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Laura, does your husband have a 3D printer? I don't know. I'm trying. My memory is short. Yeah, Kathy, it's Chelsea and Jennifer. Yeah, Chelsea Stratton is for the pattern for the quilt that I'm making right now. I actually found a couple of other patterns that one of them I've ordered. It's called... Now I'm thinking Christmas again. That one that I'm working on right now is a Christmas pattern. And let me go. Okay, where do I want to go? I want to go up here. I want to go here. And I want to go here. I saw this on what does that chip call his thing? Quilt something? I can't remember. Quilt, not Quilt Life. I forget what he calls his YouTube
You're
channel.
asking me, I don't watch it.
You're absolutely no help today whatsoever
No,
about
because
anything.
I don't
do
know
you?
what you
Really?
watch.
Are you really here? What's your problem? This one, anyways, I saw it on there, and when I saw it, I thought it would look great as a Christmas quilt because, it looks like hanging ornaments and things like that. It's called the Little Star Shower. This was not a freebie. I had to buy it. It cost me about $13 Canadian, but it was downloadable. It was a PDF. So that's on my list of things I want to do at some point this year. I don't know when I will do it, but it's kind of a modern in its style as well because of the straight lines and there's a fair amount of negative space. I'm not going to do it in those colors, of course. I'll do it in something more Christmassy, but it just screamed to me that this would look great as a Christmas quilt. So I'm doing that, and there is a bunch of fabric. Let me see if I can find it here. Just let me go back to us for a moment while I find this. That's not it. I thought I had it here. Well, I guess I don't. That's because I put another thing. Well, no, there's another pattern that I have ordered, and it's going to go along with a bunch of the new line of Northcott Fabrics O Canada series. This is their 10th year of doing these ones, and they're all Canadian themed. And I really like the fabric, so I bought a bunch of it up at Ultimate Sewing. Then I saw a pattern for one of the panels that come in that set, and I ordered the panel as well. And I really liked it, so I'm going to talk about it more next week during Idiot Quilter anyway. So if you're interested, you can tune into that, and I'll show you all that stuff. Right now I have to dig it all out, and, well, I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, and then I decided that I better have more fabric, so I ordered online from another place that I often order online from called Lindley General Store. It's here in Ontario. It's strictly an online store, but their prices are usually good, and their shipping is really fast. How they do that, I don't know. So that's the third quilt I want to make this year. And I already had a bunch of quilts I listed I was going to do this year, and I still haven't gone through the stuff and looked for patterns that are worthy of the fabric that you got me. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's go back here. So those are the things I've been working on.
Teresa was saying, can you make semicircular ones to hang on your pegboard? I'm wondering if that's the...
What are you...
At the top here,
Yeah.
Teresa says, can you make...
Semicircular ones to hang on a pegboard.
I'm wondering if she's talking about the 3D print.
Are you talking about the 3D print, Teresa? I'm not sure what you mean by semicircular. Do you mean so that you could hang the reel on a pegboard and you'd have the drawers come out? The only problem with that is everything in your drawers would fall out. Because it wouldn't, if I'm thinking of it hanging it that way, I don't think you could hang it horizontally. But you know what they do have? If you have a pegboard system, they have tons of things on Thingiverse that are meant for pegboard systems. And if you've got the pegboard system that is sold by IKEA, they have all kinds of things you can print out that you can use that pegboard system to hang things on. And I think there is sort of a semicircle, half little thing that has clips on it that will go into a pegboard, if I think right about that. That you can put, I think they were made for things like rolls of tape or stuff like that to hang on your pegboard. Just go to Thingiverse. Just THINGIVERSE. So like universe with thing in front of it and an I. So, and they have literally tens of thousands. You can go down a rabbit hole on there looking at everything that people have put up. Not everything always works though, because it depends on what they used for their software program to design it, what their printers are and that. I've run into lots of problems before. So it's no guarantees. You got to play with it, but it can be fun. No 3D printer. Would like to get one though. Yeah. What's printing now on your 3D printer, Patsy says? Well, right now, I just mentioned I've got that owl pot that's happening, flower pot, and I'm making the pincushion base with the angry birds, and I'm making a dragon. Now, I don't think the dragon's going to work. This one is a very complicated print, and if it does work, I'm going to give it to a friend of mine who's into those fantasy games that, you know, the electronic ones and everything, and he'd probably get a real kick out of it. But right now, it's going to take over a day and a half to print, and it's doing an okay job right now. It's printing all these supports. It looks like a real mess, but it's actually supposed to look like that at the moment. So we'll see what happens. I'll show it if it turns out okay. Teresa said she was watching the glitter bomb videos yesterday. They blow up, spread glitter, and let out fire. Yeah, I've watched a few of those too. They're hilarious.
Yeah, and there was ones we were watching the other day that were like people that have realized these people have come up onto their porch and taken it, and they catch them in the act.
They catch them in the act doing it too. And then some of these people realize that as they're walking away, a person comes out and says, "Hey, get back there," and they turn around and go, "Oh yeah, I was just dropping this off," or they've got some real excuses for it. But
and then there's another guy that was packing the boxes in dog poop and waiting for them to come and steal it.
Yeah, he was filling boxes with that, and another one was filling it up with used kitty litter and stuff too. So too bad they didn't get those on camera to see the look on their face when that explodes. These guys who do the glitter bombs, so there's one guy that I was watching. They're very elaborate because he puts cell phones in them or something, or cameras in that, so you get to see them when they blow up on the people.
I guess it makes for extra viewers.
Yeah, well, he's got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers and viewers. He's making money from those ones, so well, he needs to, because he keeps inventing these elaborate ways of getting them, catching them in the act. Hi, Carol. Yeah, Angel, that's true. That would make a nice 4th of July quilt, but I'm not American, so I'm not making a 4th of July quilt. Sorry. Red, white, and blue are not in my vocabulary. Red and white, yes. And stars. We don't have stars. Hey, though.
Maple leaves.
Yeah, I could do one with maple leaves hanging from it. That would be work. There's an idea. Wendy says, I'm on number 2 quilt so far. Oh, getting ahead of the game, are you, Wendy? And Teresa says, yes, the containers. I guess it would need a backing plate. Yeah. Marlene says, I just downloaded this pattern called Eden by
Chunga Wing.
Wing.
I know that she's a designer. Great name, right?
Oh, she's the one that designs those butterfly ones that I like in Timeless Treasures.
Yeah. She does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she does. And Andy says she saw a video with a guy who opened his front door, walked out with a shotgun to confront a porch pie.
I saw that one, yeah.
Well, one guy walked out with an Uzi or something, with an assault rifle.
The one she's talking about.
Jeez. And one had their 10-year-old son chase the guy down the driveway with a hammer.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I mean, somebody could have turned on the kid,
Well, yeah, you never know. Some of these people might come and could be armed.
Yeah.
Especially in the United States. They turn around and blow you away without thinking about it. So, I don't know. But yeah, they're kind of entertaining. We have, knock wood, we've never had a problem, but we're usually here.
I'm on a website, and there are people that have had problems in our area with it. So, but we're usually home, and we're able to get our packages pretty quick.
But what motivates these people to drive this?
I don't know. There's different things. Okay, we were talking about that. I mean, there's the thing that they might get something that they can either resell or use or whatever themselves. But some of these people, it's like thieves in stores. They're doing it for a thrill.
Well, I don't get it, really. And some of them were talking on those videos too, like that they had Christmas gifts for their kids come and they were stolen off their porch. Now, apparently Amazon has a system now. I've never tried it. And there's one close to us that they place in places in certain communities, these locked delivery boxes. and they will put your parcels in that and tell you which box it's in or whatever. And you can go, and I don't know, they must have a code or something on them that you tap in, and you can get your stuff from that. It's more secure. The only problem with that is it kind of kills the whole idea of delivery to your door.
Yeah.
With it. But I suppose if, like, we're
I
always
suppose
home.
if you're in an area where it's an issue, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it is, unless it becomes more of an issue in our area. But so far we haven't had really any problems. But there are people in our city that have had problems. So
Yeah. Well, too, there's another thing too that you can get, but they're very expensive. I've seen them. There's the companies that make these secure boxes that you can put on your doorstep, and when the delivery comes, it can go. There's a mechanism or something where the delivery person can put it into that box, but then it's secured. And so anybody else trying to get into it that isn't you can't get into it. And the box is fairly large and too heavy for them to like run off with that. So, but I think they run like $500 or something like that. But then again, it might be worth the investment if you were in a neighborhood where this happens on a regular basis. You never know about your neighbors either.
no,
Actually,
there was one that we saw that it was a neighborhood that was getting it. And it turned out it was one of the neighbors that was going around and taking boxes off people's steps. So, great neighbor.
Yeah, really. Marilyn says, one of our neighbors saw an Amazon driver throw a wrapper down a sewer cover. She retrieved it and it was an empty wrapper, really shady. So basically what you're saying is the Amazon driver stole the stuff. Well, here, anyways, what they do, and I imagine this is standard policy for all Amazon, wherever else, they're supposed to take a picture of when they've dropped it on your doorstep, and then the picture will come up through your Amazon account. It'll be sent to you. So you can see that, I guess it's proof that the driver actually did deliver it. So if you come back on the company, and probably some people do, again, there's crooks in every avenue. They probably could call up Amazon and go, well, I never got that delivery. I want a refund. Yeah. And so I guess this is proof that it was delivered. But we have one of those Ring doorbells, right, with the video camera on it. So as soon as somebody gets anywhere near our front step, it goes off. And the Amazon drivers here that come around know about it, because what they do is they don't even try to push the doorbell. They just heave it onto the step, and they run like a bat out of hell. They're like as though they've done something evil or criminal or something like that.
Well, I think they're on a real tight schedule. So
yeah, well, we saw that thing about the dispatching. There was a YouTube video about how they can trace their drivers and where they've been, and they know exactly what time they were at any one location, and it's all mapped out on a real-time map. It's like a GPS system, basically. That was kind of interesting. So, really, Amazon, you can say what you want about Amazon, but Amazon really does try to do everything they possibly can to make sure you get your parcel. So
yeah, so Teresa says some thieves follow the Amazon truck around. So,
oh yeah, well they showed that in the video too. Hi, Cara.
So
Cara.
Fidel said he's seen some drivers take the package after taking the picture.
Yeah, well, what's stopping them from doing that too?
Well, other than the fact that if they have a bunch of stuff that go missing in their route, then Amazon may not hire them back again.
Yeah, well, that could be. What else is everybody saying here? There's some stuff up here I missed. So let me scroll up. Oh, Angel, yeah. Oh, fireworks. Well, I hadn't thought of that with that pattern, but that's something too. That would work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Patsy says it's hard to understand when you don't have a criminal mind. Yeah. What else? Yeah. Laura says we have that Amazon delivery system as well for those who want it. Yeah, actually, it's just up the road from us where the box is located. I think it's in our Shoppers Drug Mart. It's up the road. Yeah, Teresa says some of the thieves follow the truck. Yeah. Yeah, I don't always get a picture. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
I think it may depend on how important the package is.
And if you have an Alexa, She immediately lights up with a notification as soon as there's been something delivered. And you just say, Alexa, what are my notifications? And she'll tell you that there's been a package delivered. Yeah, I know. It's just what I am. I ordered some permanent markers for work and a hearing aid was sent instead. Oh, okay. Well, sometimes you get that. The one thing, I've talked about this before, I do find Amazon's customer service is pretty good when you have a problem. And there is a little trick that I use. There is buried deep within the Amazon pages the ability to be able to chat with somebody in real time online. Rather than, if you've got a complaint about something, rather than going through the usual method, which takes days, possibly weeks, because they want you to contact the seller first. And then when you do that, and it all takes time. I found if I go to this chat mode, and for the life of me, I cannot tell you how to find it, except you need to go to the bottom of the Amazon, right to the very bottom of the Amazon page, and look under sitemap. And I think there's something called support. And then you have to go through several others to eventually find this. And they're really good when you get on there. I mean, I think I told you the story about that ruler that I ordered, that expensive ruler, and it came with a crack. And they told me just keep it, and they gave me full refund on that. So, but you gotta know how to do this. It's just not, it's a different level. Teresa says, I put a dash cam in the new car. The last one got stolen. No, but this one is easier to take off and take with you. Oh, okay. Yeah, we were watching videos too. There's a whole bunch of them called like dash cam fails or things like that, where people have caught on their dash cam people driving recklessly or cutting them off, or all kinds of, like, makes you think twice about ever feeding into road rage with some of these crazy ones. And then Anita says they have groups that have someone follow the truck, and when the thief contacts others at the address and they swoop in and take the packages. Oh, geez, organized crime. And Fidel says in Mexico, Amazon drivers through private drivers, and the packages are never dropped outside. Very, very reliable deliveries. Well, there was a day and an age when the Amazon people would come and ring your doorbell and wait for you to come to the door. But they don't do that anymore. Now, I thought that was because of COVID.
Well, that may be too, but that's also because probably they have a million more packages delivered than they used to.
And Cheryl says, I only had one problem, and it was last week. Package wasn't delivered, but notification did. It was given to the receptionist in an office. No receptionist at my house got a replacement. Okay, someone screwed up there too. But they trace all the deliveries, as I said, about this real-time application that they have for their dispatchers. And they know that they see the route they've taken. They've seen how long it's taken them to drop it off. They know everything, and they know the patterns too. And that's how they check up on these drivers, because these delivery people, from what I understand, are third party. Anybody can be an Amazon deliverer. You just have to show up, apparently. I mean, there might be something you have to fill out before they accept you, but you show up in the morning, they hand you a list of things for an area, and off you go to deliver them. Teresa says she's in a high rise now. Most times Amazon has to buzz to get in. Once in a while, they follow someone with a key, but not very often. Do they actually come up to your apartment, Teresa? Or do they just leave it? Do you have someone at a front desk that they leave it with, or something like that? But anyways, I guess, there's always going to be crooks, right? Everybody, there's all these ones always, online, and
everybody's trying to spam you, and everybody's gonna I guess that's, depending on what you get delivered, it could be quite lucrative for some of these thieves.
Yeah, Margaret says, I don't trust FedEx because I received a package at my front door that belonged to my neighbor on my side road that was signed for by a UPS driver. I'm friends with that neighbor.
I have taken the odd package for a neighbor before, like if I've been outside in driver goes to deliver something and they're not home or something. Like there was just before Christmas, there was package delivered to my neighbor, but the guy didn't even try to knock on the door or anything to see if they were home. I told I'd take the package, and I went over there, knocked on the door, and the neighbor answered. So I gave him the package. So
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we take our chances with all this kind of stuff.
and actually, that happened with your 3D printer. It came.
Yeah.
Remember, it said it was delivered,
Yeah,
and then we opened the door, it wasn't there, right? And it turned out our next door neighbor got it.
yeah, it came to him. He wanted to keep it. He said, "Ooh, it's an interesting package." Yeah. Teresa says, "Yes, they do come up. No concierge. I'm not rich enough to live in a building with a doorman." Okay. Angel says, "The young girl delivers here once in a while. Said she had about 230 packages to deliver that day." Yeah, I don't know what they pay them. I mean, I don't know how lucrative it is. I
No.
don't think you get paid by the package. It's probably by the hour. But then again, there must be some kind of penalty on them or something that if they don't deliver their stuff in a certain reasonable amount of
I
time.
have a feeling they're not the greatest place to work for.
Probably not. Probably not. But too, it doesn't matter who delivers what to you anymore. All these delivery services, like look at what Margaret's saying. All these delivery services anymore, they just dump it and leave. Look at the guy who delivered our long arm.
Yeah,
He was completely
he was
useless.
supposed to help, and
Yeah.
he didn't. So
It was a good thing we weren't like 80 years old and in wheelchairs,
yeah,
because yeah,
especially the weight of those boxes.
yeah, well, you can't get good help anymore. So, but speaking of stupid people, well, before we speak of stupid people, so those of you that were at Craft and Chat on this past Wednesday, we had a good time there as well. And next one is, I think it works out to be February the 5th, I think is the date for the next one, but there'll be a notice for that. But it was good. We had a good time, and everybody that was there. Poor Fidel tried to get on, and I guess everything was offline in your part of Mexico. But anyways, I am thinking about having a retreat again. Now, I'm debating when it's going to be. At the earliest, it'll be sometime in probably mid to late March, possibly going into, it may be the first or second week of April, because right now I'm waiting to find out what's going to happen with our local quilt shop with Ultimate Sewing. I was in the other day to pick up some fabric, and they're now under restrictions as well. They can only have about 4 people in the store at a time. It's a very tiny store. And because of, we're in a sort of I don't know what you call it, semi-lockdown in a way, again, because of everything. So I was asking a couple of the owner of the store, she wasn't in. She's still recovering from the flu. That's what she says she has. I think it's the COVID, but
Well, she said on her message, if you read it, it's either the flu, a cold, or COVID.
oh, I didn't read those parts of it.
Yeah, well, that was right at the
You had a
beginning.
different message than me.
No, it's the same message.
I don't know.
But then later on, she called it the flu.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I focused on, was the flu. But anyway, she's doing okay though, because I asked about it. She's just keeping herself scarce from the store, just to be on the safe side. Which, yes, definitely agree with that. With it, she's being a responsible person, and she is. So I asked a couple of the other ladies that work in there. Said, "So, got any scuttlebutt on the retreat that may have been happening in March for the store, and that we're supposed to be helping with?" And they didn't know anything about it either. But quite frankly, I don't think it's going to go, because the place that they're supposed to go to, they're under all these restrictions as well. And to be honest, I don't think it would be a good time. Because from what I heard, when this place that we go to all the time for this retreat, when they were having some cut down versions of retreats, everybody had to wear a mask. Everybody was spread way out. Well, lots of room to work, I guess. You want that. But meals they plated all the food and dropped it in front of you. See, they usually do it self-serve kind of a thing. They used to have a fantastic, I love their salad bar. They had a great salad bar, but they can't have that now. So I don't know. Just the atmosphere would be totally different. And that's what these people that actually went to one told me. That was back in the early fall, when things were starting to open up a little bit again. And they said it just wasn't the same. So my idea is that we could do this whole retreat for Ultimate Sewing as a virtual one. I have some ideas for that, and it's not like I haven't done a virtual retreat before. So I don't know. So if she decides to go that route and do it in March, then my retreat won't be until April. If she decides she's going to can the whole thing and not bother to do anything, then I'll probably have the retreat a little bit earlier. But I'll let everybody know about that. And many of you were on the last retreat, so you know how this all works. But it will be, I'll put out more information about it when we get closer to when I can actually know for sure when I'm going to have it. What are people saying here? Margaret says, I haven't had good luck with UPS since I purchased a lot of stuff from Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, I hate UPS here in Canada. They double dip because they charge you the duty and other stuff. They're just a pain in the ass here to deal with. Maybe they're better in the States. Anita says, I would think the summer might be better timing on things. What, for retreats, Anita?
Well, for in-person retreats maybe, but
Yeah, for in-person retreats. But with the virtual, you can do it anytime.
yeah.
And I don't know. We don't know what things are going to be like. You know, we live in hope, don't we? But
Yeah, I know. Just when you think things are getting better, it's like everything goes to crap again.
I mean, the one thing is, if Shirley was to turn this into a virtual retreat, I think she'd get a lot of people that want to come to it. We can still do a lot of the things that we would have done if we were at a regular retreat. There's a couple of things that would have to be altered or whatever, but I think it's very doable, and I think it could be a lot of fun. But I'll wait and talk to her when she gets back to work. I'll send her an email. I've got to sit down and do up a proposal on it to see if she is game for that. I know it's going to be me doing most of the work on it, but that's okay. I mean, she asked if we could help out with this one. We've done it before. And I said, yeah, so this is just another variation of it. Yeah, it is nice, Anita, to see everybody on Craft and Chat, because we have the same people who usually come out. We sometimes get a few new ones, and which is nice. More the merrier. Everybody's welcome to it. And it's like getting together with friends. And I think so many of us now are so used to doing the virtual thing that it's just becoming second nature. Judy says they're in a blizzard right now.
I guess you're staying home.
Yep. Margaret's doing a Zoom retreat this next weekend. Quilt Folk Magazine and K Facet. Oh, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about doing some online classes, not giving them, but I mean taking them. I saw that Ricky Timms on the Quilt Show, he's doing one in February, and it's not that expensive. I think it's only for a few hours. It's a class kind of a thing, and you get a kit with his fabrics. He does hand dyeing of fabrics. But then I kind of looked at it and I thought, I don't think I'm going to learn a lot in this particular class, because it looks like it's just really putting stripes together using his fabrics for it. So I thought, it wasn't that expensive. I think it was $49 US, so 60 bucks Canadian, roughly. But if I'm going to spend time taking a class online, I want to learn something I don't know how to do. And he says, saw of the cruise lines who thought it was okay to have trips have canceled now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the cruise lines, I think even if they are running the cruise, a lot of the countries that they want to stop at won't take them. So what's the point of being on a cruise?
Yeah. So Cheryl can't do a Craft and Chat until next year, because she's babysitting her grandson on Wednesdays. Oh, that's too bad, Cheryl. Well, can't you just sort of put him to sleep? You can take that one anywhere you want to. I mean, I know in my imagination, I imagine a little rubber hammer, puts them out for a couple of hours. No problem. And there are ways to cover up the bruise. But, little concealer, no one will see. Yeah. No, that bump, it was there when you brought him over. Yeah, no problem. I just, not, maybe. So, talking here about cruise lines and things like that and stupid people, because quite frankly, anybody who takes a cruise right now, I feel is completely stupid and selfish.
Well, I don't know. I just sort of think that, for me anyway, I just don't want, it's bad enough hassle to get on one of those things in the first place, let alone if you have to follow all kinds of COVID protocols and everything else. So,
well, what kind of cruise is that? You're running around with a mask on all the time. There are no buffets. Well, there's buffets, but they serve you from them now, apparently. And there's some of these cruise lines have now, they can't get into ports. So you're stuck on a boat.
yeah.
Well, that's not my
That's like
idea
you're
of a good
stuck
time.
on a hotel. Actually, and apparently some of the cruise lines are canceling their shows that are on
Yeah.
their entertainment. So basically, you're in a hotel with no entertainment and food. That's it.
Oh, he does nap, but after 1 p.m. Well, we don't start till 1.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I mean, if he wakes up, again,
if he
you can
wakes
just-
up, he can just leave,
Yeah.
or whatever. So, my daughter knows his bruises. Always seems to get them when he's with me. Oh, Cheryl, when you said he does a nap about after 1 p.m., you mean he does a nap. Bunkus on the nogginus. And Judy says, she teaches on Wednesdays. What do you teach, Judy? And he says, I don't want to be stuck on an ocean with a bunch of potentially secret. Yeah, exactly.
basically.
So you want to talk about stupid people doing something like that. So apparently there was a Sunwing flight event. Someone had set up, some event organizer.
I think they chartered the plane
Yeah, they chartered the plane and they were flying down to Mexico?
to Mexico, Cancun. It's been on the news, and I know Anita said she saw it
Yeah.
on the news. And they had a big party on the plane, maskless.
They were maskless, they were vaping, they were drinking, they were being complete yahoos.
They're all young people.
And the captain couldn't do anything with them. And someone asked on the news why he didn't put down in an airport like in the States. And he said, well, that's just not so easy to do. But basically, it's also because it costs Sunwing a lot of money.
Yeah,
because,
Sunwing is a discount airliner in
Yeah.
Canada. So probably that plane had to go down to Cancun to take another load of plane people back or whatever. That's what I figured. So,
Yeah.
So it would have been difficult for them to cancel the flight.
But they've all got COVID now, or 30 of them or something.
Well, there was 180 people that went down. At least 30 of them got COVID when either they arrived or when they were down there. And because of the big party and the violation in that airline, the airline said, okay, your return trip is canceled. Right.
Yep.
So they're not bringing them back. And the other two major airlines that are Canadian that fly down there have refused to take them back as well.
Although apparently, about 20 or 30
20
slipped by
20 of them snuck back onto one.
onto Air Canada flight.
Yeah.
And Air Canada didn't realize it. But yeah, I say, and don't be crying to our government to belly out of this one. You figure this out now.
Yeah,
you bunch
and
of
a lot of
yahoos.
them that are down there. 30 of them that are down there that are quarantined. There's some down there that are crying the blues because they now have to pay for accommodation down there while they're quarantining.
Yeah.
So
that's too bad, so sad. Shouldn't have been going anyways. But you want to know something too. They're saying that the age group that is becoming most infected, well, now with the new variant or whatever, everybody can get it because it's fast traveling. But they were saying at one point that it was like 18 to 35 or 18 to 34, something like that. Were seemed to be that was where the concentration of cases were happening. Well, if this bunch of yahoos are any indication of this, like you can see why that would be true, because they were blatantly, and the stupid thing is this, what makes it really even more stupid than just traveling during a time of a pandemic is the fact that they were videoing themselves and posting them on social media. And they were all supposedly, a bunch of them were on there were influencers.
Social influence.
Social influences, which basically means young people who don't have jobs but do crazy things like makeup tutorials and other stunts on YouTube or on Facebook and get a following.
Yeah, well, the organizer guy made it back from Cancun. They're trying to do, trying to figure out how to get people back. This, because obviously he's going to be charged. If
Oh yeah,
I'm sure people will be trying to figure out how to get money out of him. Not only that, he's on the verge of being semi-crook anyway.
yeah.
So like
He's slimy.
he was a illegal financial advisor, and it was charged with that before. And he's trying to run this business, and he thought he'd have a big party going down to Cancun. He could run a charter a jet and do whatever he wanted to do. And he's only about 28 or whatever. And obviously found out that no, you can't do that. A couple of the people that went down were identified as employees of different companies, and the companies had said the companies had fired them from their jobs because they said that they didn't want them to be representatives of the company. And that's true with when I was working full-time at the company I worked for. They said, be careful what you do on social media, because if you get caught doing something unsavory on social media, it could be grounds for dismissal from your company because you are a representative of the company.
And a couple of them worked for the Canadian government. They got canned from their government
There's
jobs.
two of them that are trainee pilots, and Transport Canada said they're going to review their license. So
yeah, so I mean, just stupid actions. And the thing is, what they've declared here in Canada, and Anita says Canada should fine the butts off. Well, they can be fined. However, our government has been lately on the fining. You don't hear much about that, them actually doing it. Some fines go out, but I don't know why. But the other thing is, Canada has determined that we have a Human Rights Commission, and people can try and fight things like this if they're what they call wrongfully dismissed from their job. Well, they've already been told, they put this out months ago from the Canadian government, or lawyers have said, this is not a human rights case. You cannot go through that to try and have any kind of compensation. If you've put yourself in this situation when you've already been told that you shouldn't be doing this and the whole bit, the employer can get rid of you. There is no court of appeal. So those people who lost their jobs, they've lost their jobs. Good. I say kill them. Actually, this is when you want to have public stonings. Really. Some places in the Middle East, I think, still have that kind of thing. Maybe not so crazy. Really? Knock some sense into them with a brick. Yeah.
Eric and Penny said that they were planning to take an Alaskan cruise in September of 2022 to celebrate their 35th wedding anniversary, and because of COVID, canceled the cruise. Yeah, it's probably a good idea because you don't really know what's going to happen from now. And do you really want to be stuck on a cruise ship, pay all that money and go on a cruise ship and not have a good time?
Yeah.
I
mean, it's torture enough going to Alaska on a cruise ship. No, I'm sure you would enjoy it. We wouldn't.
I don't know. I know some people that have been on them, and some have enjoyed it. Some said they weren't.
I equate it to the very first time we drove out west many years ago. And, everybody was saying, why do you want to do that fly? And they said, oh my God, you better fly. Well, we drove out there, and yes, when you suddenly see the mountains, and of course we live in Ontario, so we don't have really mountains here, and you see the Rockies, and yes, it is breathtaking, and you're looking at it in awe, and then 10 minutes later you're going, when the hell do we get out of the damn Rockies? I am so effing bored at this point. And I have a feeling, for me anyways, that's what an Alaskan cruise would be like, because apparently there is not a lot to see except, oh yeah, there's a glacier. Oh, ain't that nice? And then the places you stop in are like, because
small towns.
They're small little towns. Get to know everybody though, real quick. All 5 of them that are in the town.
But some people are really into nature.
I know
and
they
stuff
are, and
like
if that's what they're into and they love it, that's great for them. But I'm just saying, for me, my idea of hell would be going on an Alaskan cruise. Sorry, Eric and Penny, about that. But I think you've been really smart about canceling the cruise, because the other thing too is, I don't know yet how these cruise companies are dealing with if they cancel a cruise on you, are they giving you back a full refund, or are they just giving you credit for future cruise?
Well, I heard something about Norwegian. Some of them are giving refunds, but a lot of them are just giving you a future cruise credit. So
See, if we had actually done that with the river cruise that we booked almost 2 years ago now, come this May, just at the beginning of COVID going on that, and they weren't canceling the cruise, like we kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and we lost $10,000 on that. We could have taken a future cruise credit, but at that point we said, well, we don't know how life is going to change.
yeah, like the future cruise credit would have been good till the end of 2022, and supposedly we could ask for a full refund at the end of 2022, right, for that cruise, if we didn't go, if we didn't take
But
it.
they kept
Right?
changing the rules.
But we had $20,000 invested in this
Yeah.
cruise, right? And the alternative was to take the half of 50% of the cruise price back and try and get the money, recover the money from insurance company. Well, the insurance company wouldn't give us the money back,
No.
so we lost the money.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could have gone back and try and got another cruise credit. But as it turns out now, we would never have used it anyway.
We wouldn't have been able to use it because they keep changing it.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't want to be stuck with all that money buried into that cruise till 2022. And
Yeah.
like right now, the way things are looking out at it, there's a good chance we would never have been able to use that
No.
cruise credit. So
And yeah, so it cost us, it was,
it was hard to take when it happened.
yeah. Now it's water under the bridge sort of a thing, but I will always say bad things about Emerald Cruise Lines. That's Emerald Cruise Lines, a subsidiary of, are they not a subsidiary
Scenic.
of Scenic? So if you're thinking of a river cruise in Europe on Emerald Cruise Lines, let me spell that, EMERALD Cruise Line, don't do it. And there's another problem with river cruises too, which even if there wasn't COVID and we had taken this, apparently we have heard from people who've been on river cruises before, it all depends on how much water that year is in the river. Because if it's too low, they can't go all the way up the river. They transfer you over onto a bus and you end up staying in hotels and everything. Or if the water's too high, they can't get under the bridges. And the same thing on the buses. So I'm thinking, and in the fine print, you're basically stuck with that. And that's not why you take a river cruise, to go on a bus tour. Don't work that way.
Yeah, we were offered 110% cruise credit, or you had to cancel it and how'd they put it? You were subject to their cancellation policy, which in our case was 50%.
Yeah. And Cheryl says, so it was Alaskan Cruise Lines. She says that she was on one, Cheryl says, and she loved it. It was great. Yeah. And I'm sure you're probably the kind of person that enjoys seeing the wonder of nature up there. I'm not. I have a forest behind me. That's enough nature. You know, I've had 3 bats in my house this past summer. That's enough nature. I have bunnies hopping along my lawn. I have chipmunks eating my tomatoes.
We went on a Baltic cruise, and part of the cruise we went through a lot of, not fjords, but up by, where's that?
Well, what are you talking about? The fjords?
No. Where we were up by where ABBA came from.
Sweden.
Sweden. We went through Sweden there, and it's all like going through northern Ontario, and it was good for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
After a while, it began to get boring.
And it looked pretty much like northern Ontario, too. So yeah, like I'm all into like yeah, okay.
We were saying about
nature's
river
fun,
cruises. The problem with the river cruises is if the river is either too high or too low, the boats can't go. If the river is too high, they can't get under the bridges. If the river's too low, they can't navigate will bottom out type of thing. And if they do that, if that happens on those river cruises, the alternative is you end up in a bus tour, which that's not really what you pay for.
No, that's not really what you're paying for. Well, Andy said she did an Alaskan cruise. Or I love talking to people living in small towns. Yeah, well, do you see? Then that's great for some
So
people.
like it's different for
Yeah,
everybody.
that's not my idea of a good time. So that's why I say I'm sure it is very beautiful. You know, so were the Rockies for 10 minutes, but I took I took a sunset trip on the Chichima ferry to Manitoulin. It was disappointing because once the sun is down, it's dark. With stars, no street lights, dark, and the ferry isn't luxurious either. Yeah, I've been to Manitoulin Island too when I was a kid and did the ferry thing at is it Tobermory? At those days, in those days, I'm talking like 50 years ago, and of course I was a kid, so I was bored out of my mind. But yeah, it's totally different. Like the scenery is like if you drive through from where we live to get out of Ontario and you drive and you're going up through northern Ontario and that, yeah, it's really quite something to see. However, it's the same thing. I mean, in this day and age where we're used to a video picture image on a television screen changing every 8 seconds, it doesn't do that for some reason. When you're looking out your window going, you can't push a button and go next channel. No, it don't work that way. Anita says, I'll just stick with land trips. Well, I think that's what we will do when eventually we can travel again, but who knows when that's going to be.
And I'm not prepaying for any bloody cruise way in advance like we did for that river cruise because once they have your money, you're screwed.
Now, for us, like at least for me, I'm not that interested in doing any kind of cruise anytime soon again because we've done a lot of cruises. How many have we done? 11?
Yeah, they've been okay.
Yeah,
but you are limited as to like. I mean, you do see it's a good place if you want to go an overview of a large area type of thing, but you never end up staying in one place for very long. So
no. I was hearing weird noises.
And I'm not really interested in doing a bus tour that much.
Oh God, no. No. Oh, bus tours. Oh, you gotta lug your suitcase
and you sit on the bus all day long.
And you're sitting on a bus all day. Yeah, we did those when we were younger, but not my idea of a good time now at this age.
Well, as long as I'd do a cruise again if there wasn't much of a chance of these diseases coming back and stuff. So
yeah, but it does make you also wonder about what they always what they call it, Norwalk.
Yeah, there's Norwalk, but it doesn't happen.
Didn't really think about it when we were on cruises before, but
that's where they had the hand washing stations and everything to try and reduce that.
Yeah, but I mean, like we didn't really think about that. Now, in the time of COVID and post-COVID, I think anywhere you travel, anywhere you go, and that you're going to be really conscious of
but
germs.
we went to China and they said that you get dengue fever.
I know, but that was different. The whole world wasn't shut down with dengue fever.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Like it was just a word. Right, so it's like you could go to Africa and get malaria.
Yeah.
Do we worry about that?
No.
No. But are we going to Africa? No. Have we been to Africa? Well, Egypt. Yes. But yeah. But what I'm saying is I think when we can travel again, whenever that will be, we'll have walkers. Well, at least we'll be able to get on the airplane first when we're in the wheelchair. But I don't think we're going to have the same abandonness about it. Like, like you walk into a hotel room and, you see all those things pre-pandemic where they take a black light and go, oh my God, it's on the walls too. How did it get there? And everything, and wiping down everything and taking your wipes. Well, we were doing that on our last trip to Australia, and that was pre-pandemic. We had our little wipes there, and you were wiping down the remote controls and everything as well. You told me I couldn't wipe them down with my tongue, so I don't know what that was about. I just thought, here, okay, clean. No, go with it.
Dana said she loved her Alaskan cruise through
The Norwegian cruise lines, yeah. Well, like I said, if you liked it, that's great. Back in 2012, we took a cruise to Alaska, and that was lots of fun. We were on the Oostersam, Holland, America. Okay.
Yeah, well, and they said that's what they wanted to do again.
Yeah.
For
for their anniversary.
They already knew that they liked it.
So. Yeah. So okay. Well, then that's fine. Right? I mean, I'm not condemning an Alaskan cruise. If anybody wants to go on one, it's just. Well, do you?
I don't know, not really.
Well, you're such a Benedict Arnold. You should have said to me before many times, I have no desire to ever go on an Alaskan cruise. Kill me first before I go on an Alaskan cruise. And then when I bring it up and say something, he turns around and throws me under the bus.
Yeah, well, anyway.
He's very good at that.
Andy said her best trip was with Jeannie when they drove out west and went to the Badlands in Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Park.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that one before. Now, we've done it by car. That first trip that we ever did together, and we drove out west. We came back through the Badlands. We came and went to Yellowstone, and I don't think we hit I'm not sure how you say it, Tintin National Parks with that, but we did see Yellowstone, the Badlands, and Walls Drugs in, where was that?
And we saw what's the national monument, what's President's?
Yeah, Mount Jolly. No,
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. My God, I was never so disappointed. Yeah. I thought this sucker was huge. It wasn't that big. I know everything in the States is bigger and better though, because that's the way you hear it when you're up here. And then you go like it's like Old Faithful. I've seen bigger spurts in a clogged up toilet. Like, okay, that was fun. I got to sit there and wait for you to blow your top. Wasn't that nice? Love that. Not okay. Anyway, I'm sure though, if you've never seen it,
it was interesting to drive through the northern United States.
Yeah, it definitely was. There were some places we stopped in that were. Remember that place we were looking for a restaurant. It was a small little town, and we were on a really strict budget on that trip.
Yeah.
And we're looking for a place to eat. And there's this one place, but it sounds like there's a bloody riot going on, and it was set up like an old West saloon kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You walked in.
We were kind of scared to go in there.
So we walked around the block because that's how big the town was, and there was no other place to eat. So we thought, okay, let's take a chance. Well, it turned out it was no problem at all. Actually, it was kind of a nice place, and we had a really exotic beer we'd never heard of before called Moosehead,
which turned out to be
a Canadian beer. We didn't know that because at that time they sold it in the States, but they didn't sell it in Ontario.
No.
So yeah, but anyways, live and learn. Marilyn says, "I'm with you, Stephen. Give me Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, those have to be probably our best trips. I would say. Wouldn't you say? Probably.
Yeah.
I just love Australia.
Even though New Zealand can be a little bit remote.
Yeah, if you like nature, you'll love New Zealand. Because New Zealand is very picturesque. Lots of scenery. But at the same time, it has a nice mix because of scenery and urban life as well. Like Auckland they have a whole waterfront section down. That's where we stayed actually when we were in Auckland. And that was really Auckland was nice.
Anita, the Utah area sounds like might be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's someplace we've never been. We've thought about that.
Well, the closest we were in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We hadn't been up to the northern area of that area. We did take the helicopter to the Grand Canyon, but
yeah, like there was a day and an age when I really wanted to go to Utah because when I was scrapbooking. Basically, Utah is the scrapbooking central of the world. That's where Provocraft that makes cricket and all kinds of other products. They all come from Utah and everything like that. And I think there's a lot of quilt stores and things like that in Utah area. All the quilt stores everywhere seem to be out in the western states and the western provinces. I don't know what is it about quilting in the West.
Marilyn said she wanted to go to Iceland in 2020.
Mm,
But we thought about that.
yeah.
Might be a little too remote for us.
Yeah. Actually, I would consider doing Iceland if I was maybe on a cruise. That's one time when I would think of a cruise where I would see other things too besides just
I
like
don't know, but
Iceland.
the thing is then you don't see the interior part of it. It's a problem when we went to
Yeah,
New
that's
Zealand.
true. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think if we were to go back to New Zealand, we'd probably do more as a driving trip or something.
Yeah, because we did that overnight trip from the cruise ship to where did we go? Christchurch, and we saw some
So we went from Dunedin to
Queens,
Queensland,
Queenstown or Queenstown.
Queenstown.
Queenstown. Yeah. M says Japan, Korea. Japan is one place
I'd
that
like to go.
we'd
yeah.
like to go. Yes, for sure. Korea,
Not so sure.
not so sure.
Well,
Well,
Korea. But
We've been to Vietnam. I know that's not Korea or Japan, but we've been to Vietnam, but that was with the cruise too.
yeah, but Korea, I think, is very modern.
Yeah. So they've never really thought about Korea, I guess. But
Yeah, that's an option.
That's an option. Yeah. Yeah, well, Maryland, New Zealand's the place to go if you love nature. And if you love to hike, they have all kinds of things for hikers there. Jeannie says, Andy was the Pied Piper, chipmunks, curly-horned sheep, and prairie dogs followed her. And Andy says, I knew someone who flew to Iceland for the weekend to buy Icelandic sweaters, left on Friday and came back Monday.
Okay. No, I don't think I did that.
No, but there was a point in time where a flight to Iceland from Canada was really cheap.
Yeah, no, there was an airline, a discount airline that flew to Europe, and they did a stop in Iceland.
Yeah.
And that airline no longer exists. So.
We've been to Thailand, Angel, not long. We were in Bangkok.
Yeah.
We had one night in Bangkok, actually, literally. It was an overnight stay from the cruise we were on. And so we did actually stay one night in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Bangkok is fascinating.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's so diverse in everything that's there. I mean, you can go down into the markets and things, but then you can go to other sections that are ultra modern. And we did a little river trip, and we stopped. This was one of those, off the ship tour kind of things. And we went to some restaurant, and it was good. The food was so good. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I first discovered that I really like lemongrass soup. That was good. One way ticket, Dana says, to Fiji.
I don't know. I know a couple of people that went to Fiji, and actually, it didn't. It wasn't that they didn't like it; they liked it, but they thought it wasn't as interesting as they thought it would be.
See, I don't really have a great desire to go to any place that's really tropical.
Fiji is more like a tropical island, and they more or less said that if it wasn't that astounding to them. So I don't know. That's what they said.
But again, that's personal preference, whatever on that. So, but now we went to Singapore, and that's where we flew to Singapore because the cruise we were taking that went to Hong Kong went out of Singapore. Singapore is absolutely fantastic. We had some friends that were worried about that it was on a cruise, and it was a similar kind of thing, and they needed to pick up the cruise ship in Singapore, and they were really apprehensive about Singapore. And we were telling them, you don't need to be apprehensive about Singapore. Singapore is extremely modern, very beautiful, and it's
very multicultural.
Very multicultural. High-end shopping, if you're into that, Prada, Gucci, all the big names.
Those things like Prada and Gucci, they're department store like sized stores.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
And that it was clean. Oh my goodness. Singapore is so clean. Well, they've got laws. They don't let you chew gum or suck on a candy or anything on the subway system. You could eat off the floors in their subway stops. They were absolutely beautiful in there. And their train system, their subway system, It's down to the second. It's bang. It says it's going to be there at a certain time. It's there. It bang. You can set your watch by it. So
Yeah.
Singapore was, if you've ever had any
It's
apprehensions,
expensive, so.
yeah, it's not cheap, but just beautiful. They have a conservatory kind of a thing, which is miles long, all indoors, huge glass ceiling.
But they're close to the equator, so
Yeah,
it can
so
be
things are
very
very warm.
warm and humid.
Yeah, it was like 40, 41, and what was it, like 95% humidity.
Yeah.
You walked out in the morning from your hotel room and you immediately broke out in sweat. You were just drenched. You couldn't keep yourself from not.
Yeah, the bioluminescent plankton is also in, I believe, in New Zealand.
We didn't see any of those though, did we?
No, we could have gone on one of those kayak tours.
Oh
through
yeah.
caves.
Oh yeah, through caves. No. I have been in caves before, but
Well, actually, I think
I'm claustrophobic.
I think the one in New Zealand is actually a type of glowworm. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. They're bioluminescent as well.
yes, Teresa, you did miss things that were earth-shattering, and sorry, we're not going to tell you what they are. So you'll have to watch the replay. No, you didn't miss much. Just us babbling about
trips we'd like to take.
Yeah, I mean that's getting to the point now where it's
It's becoming a fantasy.
yeah. So, anyways, speaking of trips, here's a segue into a movie we saw the other night on Netflix. It's called The Trip. It is dubbed. It's I think it's Norwegian.
I think it's Norwegian now.
It sounds really stupid when you read the blurb about it on Netflix, but it's worth watching. It's very gory
It's a lot of it's suggested gore.
Well, yeah, true.
But it's a sort of a dark comedy, but it is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. It's dark humor. Very dark.
Kind of juvenile humor at points.
Well, yeah. But and you got to watch it for a good 20 minutes to get into it, because at first you're going to be tempted, if you only watch it for 5 minutes, to turn it off. Don't. And it just keeps getting better as you go through it too. Jeannie says, our nephew just married a lady from Singapore. I'm looking forward to meeting her family. Yeah. Ask them, when you meet them, ask them to bring you something from Gucci or from Prada, whatever. So you've got lots of it there. But yeah, so that was it. So what else is coming up? Anything this week? No, same old. Work on quilts, work on 3D prints. You'll sit and stare at your computer screen, which I never know what you're
finish your stupid shirt.
It better be absolutely perfect. Perfect. Better fit well too.
Well, I don't know.
Go away. Quit it. No. Okay, I think we are done for today. So thanks everybody for joining us today for this marathon look at whatever. We just go all over the way. We should change the name from Stephen and Walter Live to Stephen and Walter Stream of Consciousness.
Yeah, we already saw The Unforgivable. It was good too.
Yeah, we saw that. And I discovered today that the 3rd season of A Discovery of Witches is out, so I just downloaded it. It's not on Netflix. It's on something we don't get, but have a computer, you can get anything with that. So I'm looking forward to that because I love it. Okay, so bye everybody. Have a good week and tune into our other videos during the week if you get a chance. And yeah, have a good one. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.